Morning, Monday morning, getting ready to install the fender with the inner fender attached. Now I've got the anti-squeak strip glued down. Now I got these bolts in backwards because they're going to act as studs to mate up with the installation holes, which are right here. There's 3 of them, but I'm going to try to catch 2 of them, and with that then I can take them out and reverse them and put them in the correct way once I get the front lined up where it needs to be. It'll be like an extra set of hands holding on to that for me when I install this. So I'm going to set this up on the tripod and we're ready to go. Here we go, trying to put the fender in. 4th try now. I think I'm only succeeding in scratching the paint. Bang into this thing. Watch my fingers around the steering box and pitman arm. I don't want to get them crushed. Just about there on the back side. So after 3 or 4 tries, actually there's 4 or 5 tries, trying to get the assembly together, I opted to separate the inner fender from the outer fender. Hopefully this goes a lot better, because now I'm looking right down at the bolt I'm trying to line up. And I can handle this a lot easier. This inner fender's got to roll a little more up. Get it lined up. Much easier to handle. There it goes. Look at that. Boom. Practically right in place. I can see where the bolts go. That'll just stay there for half a second. Actually, I could put a clamp on that too, just to hold it. I don't even think I need to do that. I just got to go inside the cab there and put a bolt through, or put a nut on, pull it tight, and put the bolts in the right way. This bolt's going the opposite direction of the way it should go. So this bolt goes this way from the inside of the cab. So the next trick is to get that fender onto made it with the inner fender. And it's a little tricky. It's got to go over this lip where my fingers are, underneath the radiator support. And then all the holes have got to line up. So. I cannot imagine doing this with freshly painted body parts. Like if somebody were doing a restoration with a complete paint job, pre-painted all these parts, it would just get scratched to hell during assembly. Huh. I think I'm pretty close. So that's a big step forward. I got the bolts along the top end and the bolts on the back end. And now getting the front lined up. You see that huge gap right there? So it's got to get raised up. There's 2 holes here, 2 holes in the fender, in the inner fender, 1 hole in the upper fender, and I believe that bracket also lines up. So 4 things have to line, see the bracket there? 4 things got to line up with those 2 screws, and they're nut and bolts as well. So it's going to be a little tricky to get all that to line up together. I remember doing it before. It wasn't fun, but I'll get it. Just a matter of time. So this is where it gets a little crazy with the alignment, because every piece that you got to line up, you're pinning 3 or 4 pieces together. So here I got the support bracket for this splash guard right here, support bracket, and that lines up with the inner fender into the radiator support. So there's the 2 holes down there, there's the 2 holes up there. So this got to come up and over to get it lined up properly. And on top of that, I just touched up the spray paint on here because this was all scratched from banging into it while I was trying to get it in. So, but I think the smart thing to do is maybe get the floor jack and lift up on the fender, which will bring up the inner fender, and then push it in very gently and try to get those holes to line up. So I'll go do that right now. There's a nice view of me trying to get the jack underneath here. I think I only have to come up maybe an inch or 2. Kind of push it into place. Let me just take a look here. Now that kind of levels off the fender. Now I can push it in and drive it up at the same time. Let's see, just about there. It doesn't want to. Well, I forgot to push the record button, but what I did is I took another floor jack and I'm pushing in on the inner wheel well on the way inside, and I pushed it up and it went over the steering box there, and it cleared the steering box and fell right into place. And as I panned to the left here towards the front, those 2 holes which I was trying to line up earlier, I even tried to shim them into place. They fell right into place practically too. So it's getting there. Like I said, it just takes time. Well, it took some finagling, and I had to use the awl here to kind of work out the alignment between the radiator support, the inner fender, and the outer fender. But I got these 2 bolts to drop in, and they're just bolts. They don't screw in. But underneath, I got to still put this bracket on. So there's a 4th piece that lines up with those 2 holes, and then I can put the nuts on. So I'm going to try that next. Well, I got the bracket in. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if there's enough light. There it is. So that's in. And then I jacked up the back of the fender and got that in place. Got all those bolts in place. I put this, where is it? The support bracket in. There it is. Support bracket. And then started to bring the front piece in and put that in place. But I'm going to wait until I touched up this paint here, and it's a little tacky. So I'm going to give it a day to dry before I put these bolts in and bolt this in and the rest of the stuff. But I was looking at this hood, and I'm pushing down on it with my left hand. I don't have much strength to push it down. The gap doesn't look too bad. What I was concerned about was whether this fender was in the right place. And it seems almost flush with the curve right here. And the gap here seems a little big. I think it's because this curve isn't right. I think maybe I could push down on this a little and maybe bend the hood back into place a little better. But I'm going to tweak that after I get everything together. But so far, it looks like it's going together pretty good. And I'm going to call it a day for today and tell you thanks for watching.